in Charlotte. Inez and I are here to talk about how our dating and relationship lives are similar and different at ages 31 and 70. And spoiler, they're a little bit more similar than you might think.
That's correct. That's correct. But before, we're going to tell you a little bit how we became best friends. So there were times also, before we go into anything in our lives, when we were both dating, and there were times when one of us was dating and the other one was not. And there were times when we were both single. So when we first met, we were both single. And we met dancing, swing dancing, and we had a great time traveling all over the world for swing dancing, and also to make our friendship stronger. When we first started traveling together, we did not know that we were so similar. And on the first trip, we were amazed. We kind of like the same food. We like the same clothes. You saw what happened today, right? She walks in and I go, "You're a leopard? I'm a leopard too." So
we had the same nap schedule, which is important for dancing.
Exactly. So that was, but what we were very surprised is that many people were surprised that we were friends. In general, they asked, "Is this your mom?" And Amanda would go, no, she's not my mom, she's my friend. Is that your daughter? Did you have brown hair when you were young also, like your daughter? So we came to the conclusion there was a frame reference, right, Amanda?
Yeah, people didn't really know what to think of people who were 40 years apart and hanging out together, because family is the only reason where they would see that. And my own wonderful mother is here, so I want to give her a shout out.
Hi!
This is my real mother, and Inez and our friendship is really that of a friendship. It's not a familial relation, and so we really want to raise awareness of all of the wonderful things that can happen in an intergenerational friendship.
Exactly. So we divided our talk in 3 different parts. First, we're going to talk about what's similar, right?
Yes.
And
so the first thing I want to say, and this is might be bad news for some of us, but it doesn't really get easier. This is what we found. It does not get less complicated.
It doesn't.
And I think we realized this when you were dating.
I was dating this guy, and he was 62. I'm a cradle robber. And one day I call Amanda, and I complaining, girlfriend stuff. He did this, and he did that, and he said this, and he said that. I would think that at his age, he should know better. I tell Amanda, right? Amanda's quiet on the other side. She goes, well, Yoda. Well, DB, dating is very complicated. And I was like, I couldn't, I never thought about it. I thought that when you start dating at an older age, because I was married before and I'm a widow, that dating somebody that was older would mean that he should know better. They don't. They don't. Dating is complicated.
Yeah, we saw that at any age you still have to figure out what you want, figure out if you like this person, figure out if they like you, figure out what the boundaries are, what the expectations are. And an example of this is when you had the DTR.
Yeah, the DTR is something that I did not even know what it was.
So Inez tells me that this man had asked her to be his girlfriend, and Inez did not want to be the full-time girlfriend of this person. He wanted more of a part-time companion.
Right.
And so there was a negotiation that happened, and this was the DTR, the determining the relationship talk.
Yes, but when she said you need to have the DTR, I go, I do. And she said, yes, you do. I said, what's this DTR that I don't have? Then she has to explain to me what DTR was, So it was, I thought that being older and dating an older man, that none of that was going to happen, and it did. So it doesn't get less complicated, guys. Dating is complicated. At her age, at my age, at all of your ages, it's not simple. It's doable, thank God, but it's not simple. decided that we had totally in common, right? As far as dating at an old age and at a young age.
Yeah, and the second thing that we realized is that at any age, we think that it's better to be alone than to settle for someone who's not a good fit. Inez, yes, thank you. I'm glad we agree on this. So Inez, you learned this in a big way around 8 years ago.
Yes, you know, I was married for 40 years, a very good marriage. We have a son, I have a daughter-in-law now, 2 grandkids. And my husband passed, and after the period of mourning, you know, I was ready to go back into the world again. And I realized that if I was going to go back into the world, it needed to be slow, at least for me, being a widow. It was not something that, okay, now I'm going to start dating a guy and another guy and another guy. So I took a long period on my own to get to know myself again. And I thought that it was very good. It was very good for me personally, for my life. It was very interesting to be near other women that were also single. Some of them were single because they never had a partner. Some of them were single because they were divorced, and some of them were like me. And I thought, okay, I can do this. You know, I can be on my own. And I enjoyed it. I really did. I still do. I still like to be on my own. I live by myself. I date. But, you know, I told Amanda, you know, sometimes they come over. When they go away on Monday, I'm happy. I mean, they come for the weekend. It was a good time. But when they leave on Monday, I put all my stuff in place, and I go, yeah, I like it better now. So I'm not ready yet to have a full-time relationship again, at least in my case. But I know a lot of my friends are looking for it, and some of my friends that are divorced did not have a good marriage like I did. So they are looking for that good partner. So I think that there is a place for everything in this world, and that's also okay.
Yeah, and one thing you always told me is that I was happy when I was with Alan, but I'm a different kind of happy now, and that's always stuck with
correct.
me.
That's correct.
I went through a breakup in 2015, and Inez told me, like, don't rush into another relationship right away. Take time to be by yourself. And Inez would take herself out to dinner and to the movies, and I was a little skeptical, like, do I really want to go out to dinner by myself? But I tried it, and it was great. And I took myself to the symphony. I went on a vacation by myself. The freedom to do whatever I wanted. If I was at the movie and I didn't like it, I could just get up and leave without consulting with anyone. That was very free, and it was very liberating.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. You know, it's a great idea to date, but it's also a great idea to take time to be on your own and to get to know yourself a little bit better, you know, and to get to know what you like and what you don't like. Because then when you're going to share that your likes and dislikes with somebody else, you already know what you want. You already know what you like. Nobody's telling you what to do. You are doing it your own thing. So.
And I think for me, it also gave me the confidence in that at that time I hoped to meet someone else and settle down, but that if I didn't find that person, I would be okay by myself. And so that kind of eased my anxiety throughout the dating process.
Because you're a little anxious.
Yes, helped me through it.
Yes.
And that's actually a really good transition to our third similarity about our dating and relationship lives, is that at any age, we think it's really helpful to have a friend that you can confide in and ask for advice. And sometimes we would do this in small ways. So Inez would send me some photos of different date outfits and I could consult, or I would send Inez a screenshot of a text message, be like, what does this mean? What should I say? And then we have another story about this, which relates to who I'll call the fish guy.
The fish guy.
We got it now.
All right. The fish guy. It was this guy that likes to fish. He liked me too, and so he started talking to me. You know, maybe we go fishing together. I don't like to fish, but I like him. So maybe go fishing together. Maybe we do something for the weekend, or so I started getting enthusiastic. You know, I thought, well, maybe well, why not? You know.
He sent you selfies with the fish, which of course you shared with me. That was impressive.
Exactly, it was impressive. You know, so I thought, well, okay, there's like maybe I can become a fishing woman. You know. So I'm liking.
Can you see it?
I'm liking this thing, right? I'm going to be raggedy now. So I'm liking this thing, and then suddenly, this guy doesn't text me anymore. No, he totally didn't text me. And I thought, so I text back, and I didn't get anything. And I text back, and I didn't get anything. So I told Amanda said, how's the fish guy? And I go, I don't know. I said, I've been texting him, he never answers. And Amanda go, oh, you've been ghosted. And I go, I mean, what? She said, ghosted. So she explained to me what being ghosted was. I could not believe, I did not know about it. I could not believe that somebody would just disappear like that. It's so bizarre. How can somebody do that? Why they don't call you? Why they don't explain? She said, well, that's the way it is. Ghosting is like that. So, okay, so it passed, right? Maybe about a month, and I had another date. And this guy also stopped texting me. So I knew what he was. So I call Amanda and I go, DB, guess what? I've been ghosted.
Way too excited. Way too excited.
Amanda goes, Inês, ghosting is not a happy thing. I go, but I've been ghosted. I'm 70 years old and I've been ghosted. I think it's great.
And then she sent a follow-up text with a bunch of ghost emojis just in case I had to. So Inez, you've also taught me a lot of things. So you were in a very long relationship. I'm now just embarking upon a 2-year relationship. And one of the things you told me was that when you and Alan traveled together, you didn't do everything
All
the same at the
yeah.
same time. Maybe you would go to the museum, and Alan, or you probably wouldn't go. Maybe you'd go shopping, and Alan would go to the museum, and then you'd meet up for dinner. And it was really good advice. And so I took that and used that in my relationship with my boyfriend, that we didn't have to do everything together all of the time when we were on vacation.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it. I said, it's going to be impossible for both of you to be doing things together all the time. You got to give each other a little some time off. Okay, today you go to the football game, or you do this, or you do whatever you want to do, and I'm going to go shopping, or I'm going to do this, and then you reconvene. And it worked. It did work. I know you like that.
Another place where we've helped each other out is around the topic of safer sex.
So, Amanda knew that I hadn't had sex since my husband died. So when I started getting interested in this guy, Amanda said, I think you guys are gonna end up having sex. And I go, possibly? And she said, no, I think so. So we just went, and we keep broaching the subject, she keeps bringing it up. So one day, I said, I'm Amanda, I'm getting ready here. I think it's gonna happen. So she comes to my house one day, very seriously, and she said, I brought you some things I want to talk to you about. What do you know about condoms? And I'm like, well, like I know about condoms. And she said, no, what do you really know about condoms? She gave me a lesson in condoms. I did not know that there were different sizes. I should, but I did not know that there was lube. I did not know any of these things. She explained everything to me, and I'm like, quiet. And she said, DB, I love you, and I want you to be safe. So I was so touched, guys. I was so touched because, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. I grew up in the 70s, come on. So, right? Some of you know, come on, yeah, right? I mean, you're clean, I'm clean, fine, So it was a real show of love of her for me, and I will be eternally grateful for that.
And I think these examples show that we have different things to teach each other, given our different experiences and generations.
Exactly. I think it doesn't really matter, how old you are. If you are good friends, that's it. That's what friends do for each other, right? I think we should stop with this stereotype that women are very catty and always fighting with each other. It's so unreal and so not right to do that to another woman. You know, it's not right to do that to another human being, but especially your women friends. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you should be there to, we should be here in this urge to help each other. That's what I think. Yeah, I love a women's club because these guys, they have had their men's club forever, right? So I think it's a very good idea to have a women's club.
Yeah, shout out to the wing. Thank you for hosting us. We're honored to be here. And now we want to talk a little bit about how our experiences have been different at our different ages. And the first way is our time horizon.
That's correct. So Amanda looks at marriage and kids.
Yeah, at 31, I'm looking to settle down, I'm looking to have kids, and so when I was most recently dating, that was something that I was screening for, is does this person want that too? So I'm looking at a very different time horizon of looking for a partner for the next 60 or 70 or however long I live. And Inês, you're at a very different point in terms of your time horizon.
Yeah, because I'm older, I really, for me, I want a part-time companion. I really don't want somebody inside of my house all over again.
It's very important. It keeps going up.
I had one. I liked it. I had a life like that. I want it again. And I was so. Amanda was telling me about the dating apps, right? Remember so Amanda said, you should go in an app. Because in an app, you have an opportunity to choose this one, the other one. You can think, I don't know, I don't know if I want to go in an app. So she goes, I'll tell you what, I'm going to set up the app for you. And you don't need to go in it, you just for you to have an idea what it's all about.
I wanted her to look and see if anyone interested her. That was the idea, to do some voyeurism and see how it felt.
Right,
So we found this app called Our Time. I had to do some research about dating apps for seniors because at first, I'm a big Bumble person, so I downloaded Bumble and
they were all
age
12.
appropriate. So we got this app called Our Time, and I set up a profile for Inês with no photos, no identifying information, and I decided that her screen name should be Dancing Esmeralda.
She goes, here you are, and I go, who am I? And she goes, you're Dancing Esmeralda. I go, I am? And she goes, yes, you are. So for about a week, right, Amanda, I looked at it I would look at these guys, but what surprised me the most is that a lot of them, I would think guys would want the same thing I do, but what surprised me that a lot of them were for a full-time companion. They wanted somebody to hold hands and go walk into the sunset.
And get married somewhere.
Some of them wanted marriage, so it scared you to death. Some of them, I mean, honestly, very, and I found some of them kind of lonely, they took old people take their selfies, they take these selfies and have their face. It was so bad, some of them was like, but I thought, okay, but they still looking for a companion because here they are with a bad selfie and they still saying, look at me, So I decided, I did it for about a week, and then Amanda said, and I started writing the ones that I thought that would be good or bad, and finally I told Amanda, I don't think it's for me. I don't want my picture and people going through my pictures, and deciding if they like me or not. So
that's another difference that we have in terms of our preference of how we meet people. I was an early adopter to online dating. In 2007, I was halfway through college and I'd never been on a single date, and so I went home for a summer break, and thank you to my mom for letting me do this, but I signed up for JDate. And back then, online dating, people didn't really do it. You didn't really know if it was safe. So we had this system where if I was going on a date with someone, I had to write his name and his phone number and put it underneath the phone in my room. And then if for some reason I didn't come home, my mom could go, my parents could go and, alert the authorities. So we were trying to be safe. Now obviously it's a lot different, and over the years I think I've tried every dating platform from eHarmony to Match to obviously JDate, OkCupid, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel,
I didn't even know there
Tinder, Group Tinder, Bumble, and then I met my wonderful boyfriend on Bumble. So I'm a big Bumble advocate, and I felt very literate with the dating apps, but for you, it wasn't something you felt comfortable with.
I meet people on the bus.
Yeah, so this is another good point, which is that Inês will often send me a text about she's starting conversations, she's making joking comments with people she doesn't know.
Old-fashioned.
And I think that leads you to have more in-person connections.
Yeah, sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's true. You know, I guess, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't like to walk around with stuff in my ears, and you know, it's just not my generation. I'm not used to it. You know, so I'm always inquisitive. You know, I'm always asking people about things. You know, I honestly talk to people on the bus.
A lot. I hear about it.
Yeah. So I think it's to each its own in a way, you know. But for me, for her obviously it works. Derek is a great guy, but for me it did not work. The acting, it was not. I'm not made for it. Not yet. Who knows? I might change my mind. But up to now, it's not something that I want to do. You know. So I still meet people in bars and restaurants and buses and that's how sometimes I get, or somebody introduced me to a guy, you know. So that's basically how I get my dating.
And one thing that you told me about, which was new to me, was this phrase nurse or purse. So when I was dating, I was kind of looking for a long-term partner, sussing out who maybe wanted a fling or a hookup. But for you, you're looking at nurse or purse. So tell us what that is.
Yeah, a nurse or a purse is, there are a lot of guys out there, I kid you not, that are looking for a nurse around my age. They want somebody to take care of them. You know, there are guys out there that have serious, maybe a serious disease or something, and will not tell you about it. And then you are dating, and after 2 months you have to go to chemotherapy or something. I'm not saying that people are not supposed to, but I think something like that, you should let people know. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you have cancer, you start dating somebody and you go in a second, third date, you should tell that person. I have a friend that happened. Okay, so that's unfair, is not correct. So that's the nurse situation. I'll find me somebody that will take care of me, you know. And the first situation is that if you are in a good financial situation, which I am an independent person and I'm financially independent, you know, I do not want somebody that wants to date me for my money. But that also happens, you know. So in general, when you're younger, you're both working, you're both building a life. But somebody around my age bracket, a lot of them are already retired. So you need to, it's a very interesting area, so you need to finagle that very carefully, you know, the nurse and the first situation. So.
Yeah, so those are some of the big differences and similarities that we've noticed about our dating and relationship lives, and we want to end with a few words about our intergenerational friendship and our advice if you are interested in making an intergenerational friend. So, Inês, what would your advice be?
My biggest advice, if you have a young friend, is she's your friend. You're not her mom. She has a mom. She has a mom. So I am not her mom. I'm not supposed to be giving her, to be telling her what to do and what not to do. I'm supposed to be chatting with her as my friend, as I would a friend of my age. What do you think about this? How would you like to do that? She's a grown woman. She's 31 years old. So, you know, I should be respectful of that. And I should be respectful the way that she feels about the world. It can't be the same way I feel. We have 40 years difference, right?
But a lot of times I'm the old lady and you're the young one. I'll be like in bed at 9:30 and Inês is just going out for the night dancing. So we do have some role reversal there.
We have a little role reversal, but you know, but overall, my hips still hurt more than hers. Right?
Yeah.
So I just want to finish.
I'm going to give one piece of advice too, which is that I think that us meeting through dancing really helps. So meeting someone over a shared interest. So at first Inês and I would go to swing dances, and every Thursday night I would see Inês, and so it helped foster our friendship. So we had that regular contact, and then it grew beyond dancing. But I think having that shared activity that we liked really helped in the beginning.
It was good, yeah. It's something that you have in common, you know, whatever would that be. That could be interesting to make the relationship easier, you know. So Amanda wrote a very beautiful essay about intergenerational friendship. In closing, I just want to read two little pieces that she wrote that I think are beautiful. So she said, seeking other examples of friendships like ours, I turned to Google. One article espoused the age-defying benefits of intergenerational friendship. There's reciprocal learning, the increased empathy, the connection to a broader sense of time and space, the decreased likelihood of stereotyping based on age. This girl wrote that. I love it. And then she said, perhaps it's not our friendship that people find transgressive, but the freedom it entails, the freedom to enjoy ourselves, the freedom to act outside the expectations of our age.
I love my. We want to do a few thank yous. We want to thank Charlotte and CIRKEL for bringing together different generations of people and coming out to San Francisco for the first ever San Francisco event. We want to thank the Wing for hosting spaces for women to convene and having us at your beautiful new space. And we want to thank all of you for coming out in the rain on Tuesday night to be with us. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.